Hi, I'm Randi Fine, narcissistic abuse expert, coach to clients worldwide. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you coming by and checking out my channel. I try to educate you as much as possible on narcissistic abuse. That is what I live for. This is where my heart is, and I really want to help as many people as I can. So I hope you will share my videos and like them so we can get this word out. Today, I want to talk to you about why we stay in intimate relationships with narcissistic abusers. I know this will hit home for many, many people, but there are reasons why we get stuck in these relationships. And the first one is that our brain is chemically addicted to them. In the honeymoon phase of the relationship, narcissists deliberately get our oxytocin and dopamine flowing in our brains. These are the feel-good hormones, and it doesn't happen accidentally. This is a deliberate act. This is something that the narcissists do. This feeling of finding the perfect partner, checking every box of what you wanted in a partner, and amazing sex that's just mind-blowing. And you do literally get addicted to the person. The chemistry in your brain does change. Healing from love addiction is difficult, and it does take time. In order to get over this, you will have to use abstinence and go through an unpleasant withdrawal, emotional. But with the right guidance and support, you will move through this and you will get over it. But understand that you're going to be withdrawing from a drug, and it feels like a drug. It is an addiction. So the second reason that we stay in intimate relationships with narcissistic abusers is that they use this tactic called reward and abuse. With reward and abuse, the narcissist alternates intimidation, cruelty, and hate with kindness, apology, and love. Love that we think is love. Through this vacillation of extremes, he has the ability to control the victim's mood, self-esteem, and feelings of security. This good guy, bad guy game confuses the target. Having witnessed glimmers of goodness in her persecutor, she holds on to the hope that he's going to change. The reward and abuse tactic creates a psychological powerlessness and dependence that convinces the victim she cannot escape or survive on her own. In romantic relationships, victims describe this feeling as being in love. Yes, being in love. Because that's what it feels like. But there is no such thing as a relationship with a narcissist, and they can't love back. Recognize the pattern and don't buy into it. Trust your intuition. Abuse is abuse. Don't sugarcoat it. The third reason we stay in intimate relationships with narcissistic abusers is a promise of the future. Many of us stay in these relationships with a promise of the future we believe we're going to have with that person. We don't get into relationships for them to end. We get into relationships for them to endure. This is a future we have talked about together. We have planned with them. We counted on this. It became a reality for us. We are sure this person is our future. And no matter what the true reality they show us is, we hold tight to that dream. It is devastating when the hopes and dreams that you counted on and looked forward to are crushed. You are definitely going to mourn the loss. But it's better to create a realistic future than to hold on to one that's an illusion and one that will never materialize. Take whatever time you need to get over the disappointment, and then begin taking small steps toward building the life that will truly bring you happiness. The next reason that we hold on to our intimate relationships with narcissistic abusers is finance and investment. We may find ourselves financially tied to the narcissist. Perhaps you have loaned the person money or invested in a property together or a business. This is very common. Narcissists do this. They lock you into properties and businesses so that it's very hard to leave. And you know that if you leave now, you're not going to get your money back. You're going to take a loss. Or the other thing that can happen with finances and investment is that maybe you can't work and that person is your entire means of support. Or maybe they have deprived you of the ability to work. And now you feel like you're stuck. Narcissists deliberately tie themselves financially to their targets to make it harder for them to leave. Don't allow money to hold you hostage. If you get out with your sanity, you have won. It may not be easy, but you will survive and you will rebuild. The next reason we stay in intimate relationships with narcissistic abusers is the fear of being alone. Many of us have abandonment issues left over from childhood. We think we'd rather stay with our abuser than go it alone. But now is the time to work through those issues. Eliminate the fear so you can move forward in your life. You want to move forward in your life abuse-free and with peace of mind. Once you remove yourself from the toxic environment you're in and you have the peace of being alone, you will value it. It may not be the best possible scenario. It may not be what you dreamed of, but you won't have to be on guard all the time. You won't be triggered waiting for the yelling to start and be subject to the cold, distant behavior. So you may learn to enjoy being alone. The other one is, the next one is fear of being too old and starting over. Those who have been in narcissistic relationships for years or begin them later in life may believe that they are too old to start over and therefore may cling to the abusive relationship thinking it's better than nothing. The problem is that if you stay in these relationships and you think it's the better of two evils, you are going to get sick. You may get incapacitated. It may maim you. It may kill you because the stress you are enduring is just bottled up inside of you and will manifest in some horrible way. And then once you are too infirm to satisfy the needs of the narcissist, you become worthless. So who's going to take care of you? You will be left alone and helpless. So if you can't get out now for your emotional health and safety, get out for your physical health and safety while you still have the physical means to do so. You are never too old to start over. If you want happiness, go for happiness. If you want peace, go for peace. And the last one I want to talk about is the fear of losing your friends or family and having your reputation ruined. This is going to happen. I'm not going to lie to you. The vengeful narcissist is going to go to whatever extremes he or she has to smear your name. And the narcissist will portray herself as the victim and you as the perpetrator. Few, if any, are going to stand by you and believe you. They're not going to validate your experience. You're going to feel very frustrated and very alone. That's why it's so important to build your boundaries, your self-assurance, your self-validation, your self-love. Because once you learn to validate yourself from within and self-assuredly hold your head high, none of this is going to bother you. So that's the work that I do with people, is helping them build that inner experience, that self-validation. And it is why I am not very fond of forums and support groups for narcissistic abuse, because narcissistic abuse teaches you that you need validation from the outside. And when you go to these support groups and forums, that's what you're getting, reinforcement from the outside. Initially, it's really good to do that, because you do need to know that you're not crazy, that what you're seeing is real. But once you understand that, get out of those groups, because it's going to keep you trapped. What you need to learn is how to self-validate, do it from within. So you don't need anybody. And then when you are the subject of a smear campaign, like the narcissist is going to do to you, you are ready. So understand, if you recognize yourself in any of these reasons, 8 reasons why you stay with your narcissistic abuser, please understand that your situation is not going to get better by staying with the narcissist. Fear disempowers you and empowers your abuser. Take your power back. Whatever is coming is not going to be as bad as what you were experiencing. Get out while you still can. Thank you for listening to me today. I am Randi Fine, narcissistic abuse expert, counselors, coach to clients worldwide, and the author of Close Encounters of the Worst Kind, The Narcissistic Abuse Survivor's Guide to Healing and Recovery, and Cliff Edge Road, my memoir. Close Encounters of the Worst Kind is coming out in an audiobook, and I will be letting you know when that happens. It's going to be very soon. It's already been recorded and submitted, so I'm just waiting for it to be published. Again, if you like my channel, please keep following me, become a follower, and like my videos, share them. And I hope to see you again next time I do a video. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.